Hey, you guys like winners? Rich and I like winners. We're trying to give them to you every week. I'm Dan Wiederer, that's Rich Campbell. Welcome to the window where we give you winners. Winners, all the time winners. As you saw from our scoreboard coming in, we are both identical on the season at 25-17. Rich has,
identical records.
Yes, Rich has let me get there. Rich has a slight advantage on the scoreboard.
Okay.
So it's there. And we're picking up steam. I feel like this has been a pretty good operation, and we're giving people winners. I don't know what more they could ask for. We're also giving people entertainment, as you see by your title there. Hey, Denise. That's loyal Denise. Channel subscriber, my brother's girlfriend, Denise Vieira. She likes to watch the show. She was surprised when you took your hat off a couple weeks ago that you had red hair. So these are things you learn on the window, and we thank Denise for being a loyal viewer of this very entertaining and very profitable show.
I bet Denise really appreciates that every week we have given a money line winner. Every week. Knock on wood. Let's keep it going.
Every week. We got more to go. All right. As always, we start with the Bears. They're headed to Tampa, Raymond James Stadium, to play the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers and Tom Brady. We're going to have a lot more analysis on this game in a later episode. But for the purposes of this program, Bucks minus 12.5 at the Pirate Ship. I do not even hesitate in circling this, picking a Bucks 30-13 victory over the Bears. How you feel?
Yeah, so we talked about the math, right? The sequential math problem that this works out to be. If you take the total and you take the spread, what does Vegas think the final score will be? 30-17 is where they are.
Okay.
I think it's probably...
I didn't give my son that homework assignment this week.
Hey, yeah, you get on that. You got to get on that. Moneyline Ryan will like that. I think it's more like 34-13.
Okay.
Yeah, I just think the Bears could, get through the back door, and that would be that. But this is a different Buccaneers team than the Bears played in October a year ago. Just the way their offense is now gelled, and Tom Brady, the level he's playing at, the weapons everywhere. They're coming off a long rest, Thursday night game, previous week. So this team's going to be full steam ahead. Yeah,
people say that Brady did not have. That the Bears beat Brady a year ago in October, and can they repeat that? Well, he did not have Antonio Brown at that time. Chris Godwin was out. Leonard Fournette didn't play. LaShawn McCoy wasn't in the lineup. They were a short-handed Bucs team on the road in a short week. This is a whole different ballgame. I think we're in full agreement on this. Again, there'll be more analysis on this in a later episode, but we're both in on the Bucs. We're going to the game of the week category. So for people who are following my picks, now's your chance to take a minute and a half, go get a drink of water, and get out of here, because I'm winless in the game of the week category. The good news is, in games that I would pick without having to pick them, because some of these games of the week I wouldn't pick if I didn't have to, I'm 25-11 otherwise. That's good. Pretty good mark.
Very good.
So maybe my pick of Bengals plus 6.5 in the game against the Ravens.
That's what I'm picking.
Is a kiss of death, right? Maybe it's a kiss of death. It seems like you're on the same page as me. Give me your thoughts on this pretty intriguing AFC North matchup.
Well, I'm 4-2 picking the game of the week, so hopefully that carries us through here. The Bengals are plus 6.5, but they're at minus 114 on PointsBet. So that tells you that maybe this is closer to 6 in some spots. Does it make a difference? I don't know. That's kind of the way you feel it. This is the only game this week where both teams have a winning record. It's about as down.
Also Chiefs Titans. Don't forget about that one.
Chiefs are 3-3.
Oh, you're right, man. Yeah. I always consider them even they're not.
You're right. I know.
You're right.
So it's about as down a week in the NFL as you'll ever get.
Yeah.
But just an intriguing Bengals team. I've said this since the first week. I really like their offense. Their defense is actually playing better than it was at the beginning of the year. They'd lost, close game. They could have easily beaten the Packers. They'd made a kick. So I'll take the points. The fact that the Ravens can cover with a touchdown makes this really intriguing, really fun game. And that division is the best in football right now.
Yep.
So and the Browns won last night. So there's so much to shake out. The Bengals have got to keep pace, and I just feel like the Ravens are due to stumble. They probably should have against the Colts. The Colts let it get away,
but they didn't.
And a great response by the Ravens to throttle the Chargers.
Right.
I mean, that was shocking. That was, to me, the most surprising result of the weekend. But maybe a letdown. So
that's where I'm at. Jamar Chase gets loose a little bit, and even if the Bengals don't win, they keep it close enough within the 6.5. Go there. The lock category. This is going to shock you. There were a number of things that I was looking at this week. One of them was the Giants +3, and then you're like, why would you ever lock the Giants? That seems dangerous. I think I did it a few weeks ago. The under in the Bears game seemed intriguing to me at first because the Bears games have been under 5 of the first 6 weeks. As a byproduct, the Bears not being able to score consistently on anyone. They can't get to 21 points really ever. And so that always brings the score total down, obviously. Steered away from that because Tom Brady could hang 47 on them himself if he wants to. I'm going with the weirdest pick of the week as my lock, the Texans +17.5 against the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Crazy pick on this regard, but it just feels like one of these games where it is so lopsided that it just feels this is still the NFL, right? And the Cardinals are due to yawn through a fourth quarter at some point. The Texans are due to pick it up at some point. You're only asking them to stay within 17 points in this game, right? I mean, for an NFL team, that shouldn't be a heavy ask. I'm thinking this is like a 13, 14-point game. It's a risky play, but I'm giving you your Houston Texans +17 and a hook.
I'm a little bit surprised you're not scarred on the Texans. I mean, you're saying, oh, did they just have to stay? Okay, they couldn't score a point to get you over in your Bills.
And they just got thrashed by the Colts last week, too.
I am actually, for my lock on the other side of this, I'm going with the Cardinals.
I like it.
And when you mentioned the Giants as a possibility and said to yourself, why would I pick a bad team? That's exactly the line of thinking I took to this on the reverse. I said, you know what I'm going to do? Nothing jumped out at me this week. And I said, I'm going to pick the best team playing the worst team. Now, you could say, all right, go ahead and pick the Rams, who are like 16.5-point favorites against the Lions at home. Like, okay. But I think the Cardinals are better than the Rams. And I think the Texans are worse than the Lions. And there's only a point difference there. So I'm going to go ahead with the Cardinals. I really was impressed by the way the Cardinals clobbered the Browns last week.
Without their coach, right?
Yeah, and to your point, though, that is why you shouldn't pick them this week.
Right, yeah, right.
So I hear you, but I'm going with a very good team against a really, really bad team.
All right, we're moving to the upset category. I'm going to give you first crack at this. I thought there were some intriguing possibilities if you really wanted to roll the dice, but see where you're at.
Yeah, like I said, we've hit at least one money line upset in every week this season. So hopefully everybody is paying attention. I've narrowly missed the Colts beating the Ravens on the road. That one still sticks with me a little bit because that would have been a nice boost to the point total. But I'm going back to this well. I just continue to believe that the Colts are better than their 2-4 record. I think they're going to ascend as the season goes on. I have questions about the 49ers. The Colts are getting 4 against the Niners. It's +170. Okay. I think the Colts are going to cover. So I'll pick the Colts to cover and then go ahead and win the game. I think their season is still alive. They got T.Y. Hilton back a week ago. He got hurt again. So they've got injury problems just like a lot of teams, but take the Colts on the road +170.
If you were willing to do a low risk, high reward play, your Houston Texans are +900. That could carry you for 8 weeks if you get that one right. Yeah. The Lions are +710 against the Rams in the Matthew Stafford reunion game, Jared Goff reunion game. The Bears are +510. Can't go to any of those. Those are long shots that aren't going to happen. I'm actually going back to our game of the week, and I'm picking a Bengals upset. They're +230. It's just one of those, right? Division game. Let's see if they can swing it. Joe Burrow can outplay Lamar Jackson, and away we go. So that's where I'm at on the upset this week. Teasers. You go ahead.
Yeah, let me say, as we go to the teaser, it's a great segue because you always are looking for that 7-point favorite to bring down to 1, or you're looking for the 8. And so you look at the Ravens. They're laying 6.5. Could you bring them down to a half point? No way. I don't feel great about them winning that game or covering that half point. So I'm with you. I love the pick, and best of luck to you. I hope we're all on the board there.
Yeah. All right. So teasers. The pride I take in these teasers because it has been rolling this year, and I think we got another winner here. We're going to start out with the Washington football team, who has been giving things not on their side, bringing the Packers down, as you just mentioned, from 7.5 down to 1.5. Packers aren't losing to the Washington football team. They're not, and they're going to win by more than 1 point. So that's an easy one. And then I'm going to pair that up with the under in the Jets-Patriots game. Under 48.5 in that game. No faith in the Jets offense to be able to score on a consistent basis. Just feels like a game that's going to be, a 2017 kind of game, a 23-14, somewhere in that range. So you get that up to 48.5 and you feel great about it.
Okay. I like that. I too have brought the Packers down to 1.5. In fact, I chose to lock the Cardinals over Packers laying 7.5. I think Washington football team is a mess.
Yeah.
Defensively, I don't think they'll be able to hang. And could they get through the back door? Sure. To me, it's more about how dialed in are the Packers in just the cadence of their season. So I think, absolutely right. Bring that down to 1.5. And then I went back to the Colts. I think, look, if the Colts are going to win, I think they're going to cover. Go ahead and push that to plus 10.
That was on my short list. That's definitely an intriguing one. The Colts are playing much better than the odds makers are giving them credit for right now, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna get burned on this at some point and just be like, okay, fine, what am I doing here? But for now, I'm gonna ride with the Colts.
All right, how do you expect to have fun on Sunday? You got a just for fun category you got to fill.
Well, you mentioned the Matthew Stafford reunion game, and I was kicking myself last week for just kind of forgetting what the Rams are capable of at home against a bad team in the Giants. And when that score got lopsided really early, I'm just looking at that score like, oh yeah, man, like, come on. Yes, that's there, right? That's there. Not that, I'm not taking into account with this pick of like, there's like a revenge factor here for Goff and Stafford and like this storyline, which is a cool storyline. I personally am not a Matthew Stafford believer, so I think it's cool that he's playing really well and that the Rams are achieving.
But you are a Sean McVay believer, aren't you?
I am a Sean McVay believer, extreme believer. So so I feel good that Stafford is bringing that offense to life in that way. And so I'm just going to go over 50.5. It's a big number, but I think they're going to score. I think the Lions are going to have to pass. And it's just there's going to be a lot of scoring. So that game will intrigue me, and I want to see how they both teams handle it with some of the storyline, the interpersonal storylines at the end of the game that is probably going to be lopsided.
For sure. In this modern world of the NFL, I saw that Matthew Stafford turned down the opportunity to do a conference call with the Detroit media this week.
How about that?
Maybe not a big deal, but certainly, come on. You spent a long time there. Get on the phone for 10 minutes. Give them what they need. Last week, I told you in the Just for Fun category, I loved the over in that Bills-Titans game. Monday night was fun because of that. Listen,
how early did it hit?
That game got off to a slow start. Let me tell you this. That game got off to a slow start, and it was like 3-0, like 12 minutes into the game, and that number came down to 47 and a hook, and that was in-game pound it, right? Like that's one where you say, this thing's going to pick up soon, and it picked up in a hurry. It got there in the third quarter. The thing just kept going. It's a 34-31 game at the end. That was easy. Another in-game last week. I don't know if you were monitoring this. The Chiefs went to halftime against the Washington football team down 13-10.
It was my lock, I believe.
I'm pretty sure that the Washington football team opened the second half with the ball. There was a point where the Chiefs were down as low as minus 130, down only 3 points to the Washington football team. If you jumped on that, you felt really good Sunday evening. That one was an in-game one to keep an eye on. I think there's a lot of in-game stuff that if you wanted to come on this channel live Sunday just because you were bored, you could just start shouting them out at people and get them some in-game stuff. Anyway, that's a long roundabout way to get you my Just for Fun this week, which is the Chiefs again. Minus 4.5 on the road at Tennessee. I saw a stat this week that the Chiefs are 31-6 in their last 37 games as road favorites against the spread. That's crazy to me. Haven't verified that yet, but doing it enough to feel like they're going to go into Tennessee and win that game by a touchdown to 10 points. This is an interesting game because the Chiefs can't stop the run, and Derrick Henry's running crazy on everybody. The Titans can't stop the pass. Patrick Mahomes is on the other side. Tyreek Hill's injury status is up for grabs this week. That's an interesting footnote to keep an eye on. But I'm going with Chiefs minus 4.5.
Road favorites on Sunday last week were 6-0. You
Okay.
just don't see 6-0 against the spread. You just don't see that very often. That the road favorites, just all of them take care of business.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit, it rattles you a little bit when you don't see those home teams show up. But yeah, I mean, we both locked the Chiefs at given 6.5 to Washington football team last week. It was the easiest lock of the year.
There's some tense moments until the third quarter.
Yeah, I had just no doubt. I just think that team's a complete mess.
Yep.
I would have no problem locking the Packers. And so, interesting matchup. You mentioned Derrick Henry. At whatever point the Chiefs defense stiffens up and starts playing better, they'll gain momentum. And you just kind of wait each week, like, okay, is it this week? Is it this week?
Yep.
Is it this week? And not a great matchup, so we'll see. Interesting pick there.
Tough schedule.
It's going to be fun. Mm-hmm.
Credit to you also, I didn't mention this earlier, for money lining the Jaguars on their first win of the season. They go over in the early morning and get you off to a fast start with that win over the Dolphins over in London. All right, we're switching to the college gears here. I know you're not as eager to pick college games as I am right now, kind of on a little bit of a roll. You not so much. So what do we got for Saturday? All
right, looking at Saturday, we got Cincinnati Navy. Okay.
Yeah, I circled this. It's not my pick, but
over 48.5.
All right.
It's down to 48.5 here. Cincinnati has scored over 50 the last 2 weeks. Navy is averaging 24 points in its last 4 games. Okay. And Navy, you might not expect this. I know I was surprised. They're top 50 in plays per game. So they're top 50 tempo. Don't always expect that from the Service Academy. They like to run the ball a lot. The clock keeps moving. So I think Cincinnati's going to score. I think Navy's going to contribute to it, and they're not going to slow the game down to a point where it stays under that 48.5. So get me over 48.5, Cincinnati and Navy.
This wouldn't be the first time that you won on a Navy game. Remember the weekend after my father passed away, we both posted a parlay on Hawaii and Navy. My dad loved Hawaii. He was in the Navy. It felt like a parlay. We bet it for $10.19, which was his birthday, 10/19. Cashed on that. Navy back in the mix for you this week. I'm going. I've been hitting these college overs the last couple of weeks, so I found another one I liked, and it's Oklahoma State, Iowa State over 47 in a game that should be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's playing some pretty good football right now. It just feels like one of those Big 12 games that gets loose somewhere in the middle. The points start adding up.
Games get loose, huh?
And
Big 12?
And 47 feels like a number you can get at pretty quickly. So I'm hoping to continue the roll there with Cowboys and Cyclones on Saturday. We'll see where that takes us.
I think I might parlay these two. It's just root for a lot of points. Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool.
And enjoy your Saturday, right? And then enjoy your Sunday. And there's a lot to enjoy. And maybe enjoy your Monday if you want to jump in on that.
What you got in Tampa this weekend? What's on tap?
In terms of what I'm doing?
Yeah, man.
Late flight.
Okay. So not a bad choice.
No, there's a lot of stuff to handle around here. We're going to get out of here late, going to get in late Saturday night, and basically Uber to the hotel, go to bed. But because it's a 4:00 start, that leaves me with Sunday morning to maybe get out on the water, go for a long run, something like that. It's going to be calm. I remember our biggest memory in Tampa, the first time we went there, I took us to
I was going to bring this up.
Entertainment District near the hockey arena, where when I was there for the ACC tournament in, I think it had to be like 2007, this place
6
was
years before we went, or like
it was like 8 years before. Yeah, it was like significantly before. And this place was going off. And I was like, you can't wait. We're going to go to this place. There's restaurants, there's bars, there's people outside. It's just like the vibe there is so jacked up. We get there, and I think like 36 of the 39 establishments had shuttered their doors. And there was like 3 places open, 1 Mexican place where we sat outside. And it was really depressing for me to hype this thing up and then for us to sit in this basically shuttered up entertainment district.
There's like an outdoor escalator.
Yeah.
I remember.
It wasn't even running.
So it wasn't even running. And I'm like, if I were, exaggerating how bad this was, I would say that there was like grass growing up through the cracks of this thing. And we walk up like,
yeah, like we're turning the corner. I'm like, it's right over here. I remember. Yeah. I remember this.
Luckily, your batting average is still like 950. Yeah, so like that was like the one strikeout.
I feel like that's a generous batting average. I think I probably struck out more than that, but that one is certainly a memorable one. I'm not going to check that place out. No. I know my colleague, your former colleague Brad Biggs, he's continually inviting me to the Scar Lounge down in Tampa. We'll see if I meet up with him at some point.
That is a good place. It's like Tampa's got a cigar type of feel.
No doubt. Yeah. And it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot for the Bears game on Sunday, up in the 90s. So that may factor in to the Bears getting blown out, which we're both projecting.
All right, man. Enjoy and good luck to everybody out there.
Before you go to the window, come to the window.